Many know Sacramento as the farm to fork capital, but it could also be known as the farm to Stein, as in beer stein. Beer brewing has some deep roots in Sacramento history, and it's about time we've all had a taste of this long-standing tradition. Beginning with Peter Hoey. He happens to be the co-owner and brewer of Urban Roots. Let's go check it out. So Peter, you are a long-standing member of the Sacramento brewing community.
Yeah, I got started brewing in Sacramento at Sacramento Brewing Company in 1998.
Okay, so basically you were involved in this craft movement, if you will, basically in its infancy.
Certainly in Sacramento I was.
Yeah.
You know, I have my peers that I look up to that have been doing it longer than me. But no, I mean, the market is dramatically different now. We used to have to explain what IPA was, and we used to have to, you know, it was a constant thing. People would come in and ask for a large international brewery brand, and like, well, we don't do that. We make our own beer.
Why do you think craft brew has gained such love from the community?
Well, it plays right into the local artisanal trend that's happening right now. People are more engaged about where their food is made. They go to the baker to get their bread instead of the supermarket. They go to a butcher to get their meat instead of, you know, a big mega mart. Same with beer. Instead of shopping at the grocery store, a lot of consumers are coming direct to brewery now. They want the connection. They want to know who makes their beer. And
you had mentioned in '98, when you first started getting into the game, there was about 5 or 6 breweries. How many would you say there are now?
In the Sacramento area, I think there's about 70, and if you cast your net a little wider into, you know, Auburn and Woodland, then you can get close to 100.
Okay, and there's a lot of options, but let's talk about where we are right now, because this is your new baby, if you will.
Yeah, so we opened Urban Roots Brewing and Smokehouse 3 months ago, so we are still brand new.
And what do you look forward to in this new facility that you have?
I love that we have a restaurant that's fairly unique. There's only a couple of breweries in the area that have a restaurant on site, and then the room we're sitting in is the future of the brewery. So these barrels are slowly being filled up with beer, and they'll sit in the barrel for a year, 2 years, 3 years to be released later. So we're literally surrounded by an investment in the future.
So Chris, you are the head brewer at Rubicon. But now you are into a new adventure in the same space.
I sure am, yeah. So I was the last employee of Rubicon, helped close it down last few weeks, huge parties, you know, kind of laid her to rest, as it were, and got hired on by the landlord to manage the building. That's how I met Ray and Annette, who are the new owners of Alaro. They hired me on as the head brewer. You know, me knowing the building, me knowing the brew house, definitely helped us through the renovation and everything.
And what does Alaro mean?
So Alaro is the owner, Ray Ballestero. His ancestors were the Lord of Castle Alaro, and so our owner, Raymond Ballestero, and Annette Ballestero are Lord and Lady of Castle Alaro Brewery.
That's great. And so there's a lot of kind of Spanish influence then here,
Absolutely.
if you will.
Absolutely. And so of course we're using the Spanish flair flavors. You know, think tapas, but we like to call them California small plates instead. You know, we're trying to use as much locally sourced, you know, the whole farm to fork that all of us do in this region. And so now we're lucky enough with the brewery to carry it over into that next aspect.
Okay, so you've helped kind of, I guess you could say, give birth to this place, if you will, right?
Yeah.
And I understand when this opened, you actually, your wife gave birth to your child.
Yeah, we found out we were pregnant right as the Rubicon was closing. I feel like actually both of them happening at the same time was a blessing in disguise, because I couldn't really stress out either. Lo and behold, I got blessed on both. Yeah.
You certainly did, yeah. And I understand too that your son, so congratulations, he's actually represented here at Alaro as well.
The Bennett Cali Pale Ale is, and to me, it's everything you could want in a beer. You know, it's balanced. It's got hop profile. It has a malt backbone. It's not too high in alcohol, but it's also not under 5%. So it is a beer flavored beer.
So Ken, we are here at your brand new tap and taste room at the Ice Blocks, right? Mm-hmm. And this though is kind of a new adventure for you, right? Because you previously were an engineer.
That's right, yeah.
Okay.
I professionally am a structural engineer. Designed bridges for about 6 years for an international company. Mm-hmm. And you know, I wanted to make the move, and about 6 years ago we took the plunge and really haven't looked back.
Okay, and then but what drew you to craft
Great question. I went to school in San Diego, UC San Diego, and spent a lot of time at the big breweries that we hear about now, the Ballast Points and Ale Smith and Stone and so forth. I was homebrewing a lot. Really saw it as a hobby. There was a really, very fresh scene here when we moved here in 2011. Not a lot going on, very few new breweries, and so there was really fertile ground. And my wife and I looked around and said, maybe this is the place to plant a brewery.
Tell us more about the current location that we are at.
So this is our Ice Blocks Midtown location. We are on our street between 16th and 17th. And this is a brand new building and a brand new facility. We are the first tenants here, and this place is amazing. We have so much fun here. We have a huge patio. The roll-up doors literally just open up this entire wall.
So Ken, why do you think something like the California Craft Beer Association and the summit that's coming up is so important for those who are into craft brewing and for businesses?
Oh, it is huge because it's all about education. And not only for the consumer to be educated on craft beer and the industry and the culture, but also for people who are in the industry or wanting to get into the industry. There's a lot of people that have been doing this a lot longer than me who know a lot more than I do, and I like to go into the seminars and listen and learn and really educate myself on so many of the things that I still need to learn.
Excellent. Ken, here is to your success. Thank you so much for bestowing your wisdom upon others so they too can enjoy a lovely craft. Thank you, my friend.